Good afternoon. All right, welcome. We are a little early. Did you see me? Did you see me come on early? You did. I thought there would be more trouble than there was. You know how there's always trouble. I got straight on. I was like, oh, so I'm here early because I assumed that it might take me a few extra minutes, but it didn't. So I guess we can get started. I'll get Michelle gets everything ready. Maybe we'll just do a gong and check in. We'll get Instagram going as well. So how you doing? Yeah, good. All right. So we have a changed link for April. So I've sent it out to everybody who's on the Mastermind Inner Circle. If you can't get on, go to the portal and the new link is in there. Most of you I private messaged, the ones that I could find. So let's just take a moment, have a breath. We're going to do 3 gongs while we wait for some people to come on. And then we're going to get started. It's a new month, so it's a sort of a new vibe, let's say, or a different vibe. All right, take a breath. Allowing yourself this moment of now to connect with this group, with this container. Take a breath. Allowing everything that you stepped into this container with just at the threshold of the door. Welcoming you all. To our Monday. Oh, I've got no room to put this. There we go. We'll put it up there. No, we won't. Sorry, I'm gonna have to lean in. Leaning in. Yeah, I think it updated the password, Emma. When I rechecked, it shifted. So I think it shifts every time. So welcome. So Erica's with us today. Hey, Erica. And my new friend. We have some new friends. So Q or Kaylee? Hang on. How do you... Did I say it correct?
It's Quaylee.
Quaylee. I couldn't see it because you're on this little Quaylee. Welcome. We met today and it was awesome. So welcome. We have some new friends. So as I said, I started a little early because I don't know why I anticipated the problems that we've had in the past and there were none. So here we are. So we just did the gong. You already did that this morning, Quaylee, so you're good. Now, those of you that don't know me, I'm Cynthia Harrison, founder of Rhombus Healing Arts and Spirit Whisperer series, and I'm a holistic mystic. the last month, so if you've just gone into the portal, the last month is a little bit weird and magnificent at the same time, because a lot of it is about Esther, Queen Esther. So if you've been, not to scare you, right? But if you have some scripture knowledge or biblical knowledge, or you're recovering Catholic Christian or anything like that, like everybody's welcome in my church, right? In my temple, everybody's welcome. And the reason I'm saying that is those teachings are, in my opinion, profound. They're profound, and they'll show you on multiple levels what some of these ancient ways of knowing were attempting to guide you on. But it's been so bastardized, and so it depends what eyes you're looking at it through, right? What eye do you see with? If you see with the ear of the heart and the eye of the heart, right? As Mary Magdalene said, as Jesus said, you know. So I'm not a religion. I never have been. I'm a mystic. I see the truth and the seed of the truth in everything. So whatever tradition you bring to me, I'll be able to show to a degree. So if you go back and look at those, they're profound because they show you their energetics in these different ways and traditions. So whether it's, Queen Esther was seen as the savior of the Jewish people. But if you look at the story and the mystical view of it, it represents the savior. So then we have we just gone through Purim and then Easter. The stories are the same in the characters or the archetypes or the energy, which is what I'm sort of seeing. So anyway, feel free to go back and look at those. Don't be, if I start talking about things that maybe brings a trigger up, make note of it and ask some questions about it, or say, okay, you can do it privately as well. I was hearing you speak on this and I felt this in my body. Awesome. Because we know, and those of you that were on the summit or the series this morning with Tanya, and if you weren't, again, I said on my Instagram, why weren't you? To go back and watch. She's a dear friend of mine, and she did an awesome job, and I really enjoyed it, and the energy and what she's doing in the world. So go and have a look at that. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's about this charge and how we are in the world. What is being triggered or kindled in your physical body, right? I come from the energetics, right? So my world was all energetics. What I see, feel, sense, know, taste, smell. It's all energy, right? Over my time, and I've been on the earth for a while, so I feel like I've earned my stripes to say this, is that we're bypassing the physical. We're wanting to transcend, transmute, kill off, move away from, right? The ego, aspects of ourself, our pain, our suffering, things that are distorted or we see as distorted. We're wanting to move away from them, which, makes sense, doesn't it? I'm going to say I've been up since 5 a.m. It's 2 p.m. now. And my eyes hurt. My eyes hurt. That's how I feel tired, because I am a fire element. I am fast energy. So what happens then? Do I just keep pushing on, pushing past what I'm feeling? I'm feeling my eyes burning. And this is the fine line I was talking about this morning, and I've talked about numerous times, this fine line between assisting yourself in compassion and sort of bypassing or trying to get away from it. And I'm not going to say where that line is. I don't think that's for me to say. And again, everything that I share and teach is purely another option, or possibly a view that you haven't looked from before, or a perspective that maybe you haven't been aware of, because you don't know what you don't know. And until somebody shows you or you experience it directly, how do you know? Like, really? And I'm open to discussion. How do you know? Because I'm telling you, everything that I know, I've experienced directly and gone, whoa, because I was a skeptic. I have a science and research background, yet I'm mystical. And I talk about things that are intangible. It doesn't match. Doesn't match. So until you've had that experience, or you believe so you believe somebody, so you may believe me, until you have the experience yourself. It's totally up to you. Does that make sense? It's like we can go around not believing and never getting anywhere. Trust your gut. Yeah, feel it in your body. Trust your gut. Yeah. So trusting your gut is that density consciousness intuition, the physical, the gut. And then we have that intermediary where it's another type of intuition. And we have the higher intuition, which is the divine intuition, or that ability to listen with the, as I said, the ear of the heart above the heart chakra, basically, or above the chest, right? If you're not into that way of knowing. And we can describe any of it from multiple perspectives. So if you're not into the Indian, Hindi, Tamil understandings, you're not into the Kabbalah, Torah, Old Testament, New Testament understanding, if you're, the Tao or the Tao or the whatever tradition, I can tell you that what I'm saying is clear in all of them. And this is why I talk about the seed, the mystic truth, the seed where everything sprouts from. It's what grows from. Psychology, I can show you in the mystery where the psychology comes from, because I've studied it all. When I'm going through the physiology of something, I also see the energetics of it and how they play out. So what am I saying? I'm saying be open, but be inquisitive and curious. Be curious. And those of you that are in Relevate, I'm saying, what is it for you? Be curious. What are you feeling? How does that come up for you? I am not you. So going back to my eyes, because I talk in circles, I'm not linear, I'm circular, okay? I mean, I'm all of it, and so are you. But I am a mystic, I talk in circles. I do come back and I close loops. Don't I, ladies? They know me. So if you don't know me and you're new or you haven't been here for a while, just follow the flow. And if there's questions, then come in with your questions. So my eyes were hurting. Now I know my body so well to know, oh, I'm tired. That's how I feel tired. I don't get sleepy. I'm like one of those kids that never wanted to go to bed. I'm still like that. I have to make myself lay there in the dark. And the thing is, I see with my eyes open or closed. So, it's a bit bizarre, but it's also magnificent. So I close my eyes, I see the universe. I open my eyes, I see the universe. I'm like, all right, I'll just lay here until, or I'll follow something until. So my eyes were hurting. And I realized that some of you, not all of you are here, but some of you I've touched in on the energetics. So I feel like in our second half, when we go into the mastermind, I want to go into your energy a little bit. I don't want to do it on the public one, because you can never really tell what's going to come out, and you may not want your stuff out there for everybody, right? So But I'll tell you this much. How our energetics are working for a lot of you, and I found that generally those drawn to me, it's not really me, it's the energy. It's like it's that antenna. It's like, oh, there's a similar wounding, right? They may have healed the wound. They may have healed the wound. I have tremendously awesome wounds. I'm telling you, I've written about them. I share them. I'm as transparent, right? And some of you do too. And when you accept them and receive them, meaning your traumas, when you have a relationship with them, and you may not yet, and that's okay. But when you have that understanding that there's the potential to have a relationship with the other parts of yourself that may bring difficulty into your life, then that frees you. So I came here not wanting to talk about any of that, but that's what's come up. So I'm gonna, this is how I roll. I have, so I'm a creative. I have all these colors here, all of these, crayons and colors and pastels and pencils. And, I love getting on the whiteboard and showing you models and this, that, and the other, okay? So it's coming here going, all right, we've got all these colors. And when I was a kid, some of you, who had the big Crayola box? Did anyone have that huge, big, yeah? Yeah? Okay. Well, my heart hurts a little bit because, I lived I'm a bush kid. Like we grew up making out, digging holes to China and stuff like that in the backyard, in the paddock, or, riding wild horses, trying to see who could stay on longest, and all of this weird, wild stuff that created my, no sense of fear, which is probably why I live for fear now. I live to talk about it. I live to share about it. Right? So again, let me close the loop. I was talking about my eyes. See, I know, I watch my lips. Talking about my eyes being tired and people's energy. So you're drawn to me, possibly because your energetics aren't the same as everyone around you, or how you are in the world, right? Frequency of how you are in the world is slightly different to those around you immediately, or maybe even your family. Yeah. Now, everybody, I've been doing this work for 30 odd years. Everybody I meet says, I don't fit in. I feel different. Everybody. And if you don't, let me know, because you'll be the 1%, right? I'm just saying it because everybody will say, I just don't fit in. It's an existential crisis. It's a spiritual emergency or emergence, depending how you look at it, right? If everybody's doing that, then there's something else going on. It's not that you don't fit. It may be the view that how you're viewing the world, or how you're viewing the interactions, or what's going on in your body, how the fear's coming up, how the sensations are coming up for you. Does it make sense? So when you're with somebody speaking, you feel something, or you don't feel something, correct? It's one of them, right? And then you make meaning out of that. So when I'm speaking to you here, like, what's happening in my body? Am I conscious of what's going on in my body? Are you conscious sitting here watching the screen or doing whatever you're doing or listening to me? What's happening in your physical body? Are you aware of that? Are you conscious of your body while you're in relationship? And there's no right or wrong. You either a little bit, not a little, right? This is some of the work, and we can go into this over, we can go into whatever you want, really. Hey, Jennifer Jean, I was thinking of you this morning. You must have heard me. So she's on our Facebook. But so how we experience the world, how we experience the other, we start to tell a story, right? And many, many people, and I work this way too, around changing the story, you know, transforming the story, all the words. But I am a storyteller, you know. I tell story through movement, through painting, through energy, through demonstration, through music, right? Through my life. Life is a kriya. A kriya. Do you know what a kriya is? It's a lot of things. Kriya, K-R-I. Hang on, there's the baby llama. So Kundalini yoga has kriyas. Other yoga has asanas and whatnot. A kriya is something that, so it'll be a posture with a breath, a mudra, a mantra, right? So it's specifically from Kundalini yoga. But when we're raising in frequency, let's say our awakening ascension, we will have locks and holds, which we call kriyas, that are spontaneous energy. You follow me? I'm going all over the shop today. Just hang on for the ride, but bring me back if I lose you. So a kriya, for instance, we could be doing a prosperity kriya. I'm trying to think of one. I think it's something like that or like that. I can't remember now off the top of my head, right? So this is one. So you're sitting there, you're viewing maybe the tip of the nose or the third eye. You're breathing, you're locking, you're moving. Your arms start to get tired, or you might be doing this. Anyone done Kundalini yoga, by the way? No? Oh, you're interested. So I am a Kundalini yoga teacher, just saying, but everything I do is yoga. Everything I do is kriya. My life is kriya, meaning my life is meditation, but the kriya is the compression, contraction, right? So as your arms get tired, your breath, your view, your contraction, expansion helps you move through the challenge, which may be the movement. Can you see the connection? Life, when there's someone in front of you challenging you, you feel it in your body, you breathe, you move, you contract, expand, contract. Breath is an expansion, contraction. So I'm going to say this. This morning I was talking about it, so it'll be a review for some of you. We need to build the charge. We need to build the charge to move it through. So when we're doing, say, a 10 bodies, so there's 10 spiritual bodies that we can utilize in the world. And if you want to know more about that, I'm happy to bring that in our trainings as we go along. And each one of those spiritual bodies links to a part of you and a virtue and a way of moving and sound and vibration, all of these different aspects of self, okay? But let me go back to this kriya. So if your life is a kriya, meaning if your life is your spiritual practice, sometimes you may need to sit for an hour in meditation. Sometimes you may need to do an everyday breath or practice, right? Like I was saying, with trauma work, we need to get you resourced before we go to the next step, meaning you can regulate so you're with somebody walking beside you, so to speak, helping you self-soothe or co-regulate, because maybe you didn't get that when you were younger. Children can't regulate themselves. They need a primary caregiver. And if your primary caregiver cannot regulate themselves, then you're not being regulated, and you will have difficulty maintaining that steady stillness as you grow. Does that make sense? It's okay if it doesn't. Let me know. Actually, I can see why I don't have my chat up properly. Hang on. There we go. I can see you all now. Yeah. And feel free to ask questions, even if you're not here. So if you have to go, because you do have to go to yoga soon, right? So think about it, and you can always message me, even if you can't show up. If I can answer the questions in the next day, I will. And then, and we can do it like that. You don't necessarily have to be here live if you can't, because it's a lot of time. Some people are saying, oh, it's four days a week for, all that. You don't have to turn up to everyone. And I am going to streamline it a little bit based on what, those that are coming regularly, what you need, what you're wanting. Because the areas that I can go in, may not be relevant. So here's your chance if you want to jump in and say, okay, I'm struggling with this in my life. How do you navigate this? What is a kriya? What is the energy way? What is the grounding or ungrounding, like we talked about earlier? How does this, that, or the other happen? So going back to the eyes, see, we're going right back, and then we're going to shift over the eyes hurting. So triple warmer is one of the yang energetic arm of the nervous system. Most human beings have an over-energized triple warmer. And in fact, two different energy schools that I went to back in the day, both said, never, what did I say? Never strengthen it. Never. There's two times. So they say never, and then there's two times. When someone's in anaphylactic shock or when they're dying, you can give them a burst of adrenaline through strengthening triple warmer. Now, I'm not going to go into that right now, but when we go into On Demand, probably tomorrow, but we'll see, because I'm not dressed to be showing you the points. I'm thinking, how am I going to put my foot, and show you that? So I've got the imagery, and I'm going to put it in the portal. And then tomorrow or through the week, we can look at that. But I want to test your energy. We've got a nice small group. So if you're open to it, because I will not look into your energy ever without your permission. So if you give me permission, I can see whether your triple warmer is over or underactive. And then I could be able to tell you which one is right for you, because most people will tell you what? Never. My eyes hurt. What did I do? I strengthened triple warmer. Why? Because it was under-energized. Why? Because what I've lived in my life, I could write novel upon novel upon novel. I have lived. But with that is the love and fear. Is the fear of love and the fear of fear. Is the trauma, is the ultimate bliss. Like I've seen wonders, and I've been in the pits of the desolate dark, and some of you have too, right? So how your energy systems create patterning around that, how cortisol is used in your long-term stress and trauma. When you have a small T, or it could be a big T trauma. So when you have trauma, right, it could just be a one-off. So cortisol comes in, brings your adrenaline down, gets you back in homeostasis. You're all good. You're good. So it might be a fire or a flood or something like that, right? And some people just get on with it. Oh, nothing. Other people can't function. Reasons for that, but let's just see if we get there. So my system will sometimes go to that opposite. And I'm aware of mine, right? I'm aware of mine. Now, you might not be able to test your own energy, but pop in and I can simply do it for you. It takes me like 30 seconds, not even 30, 10 seconds. I can just like, right? I've been doing it forever. It's just like, raising my hand. It's that simple. I taught my 2-year-old, she's 11 now, but when she was 2, my granddaughter, how to work her energy. It's not hard. I'm not special. Everybody can do this work, right? So I strengthened triple warmer and I felt the energy run down my head, down my body. And I did it the other day. And I told you that, I just don't want to sleep, right? And I did it and I was out like a light. Now, most people, the general population who haven't had an interesting life as some of us, no judgment, but who I'm looking at, I know has had an interesting life, okay? And whatever interesting means to you, you can put that on it, right? It's your view. We can deplete our cortisol. So as a social worker, I was a trauma therapist. So I worked with a lot of social workers and whatnot. Some of them were getting injections of cortisol because they were no longer able to produce it. Why? Because they'd been in such long periods of stress. The career of a social worker back then was 3 years. It's like hairdressers and taxi drivers used to be really, there's all these really stressful jobs. Nurses, my daughter's a nurse, ICU nurse, right? She also worked in a mental health hospital, like high stress stuff. But knowing how to utilize, some energy medicine first aid. So this is where we get to that line of, are we preventing ourselves from feeling and experiencing what's going on? There are times when our system needs a little help, right? If we're conscious, we can go. I knew I had another call. What's it called? I'm going to show up for you, right? So I could have showed up all, oh, my eyes hurt, right? I could have, but that's not going to help you. Do you see what I'm saying? If I didn't have a call, I probably would have gone and had a nana nap. So being aware of what you can and can't do, why you're doing something, that's just consciousness. When you're upset and you're talking to somebody, being conscious that you feel something in your body, and there's a possibility, a good possibility, that you may project onto them. Take a space. Take a breath. Do one of your, so many of you do have your little toolbox of techniques, and we can add to that. We can see what works, what doesn't work, what no longer serves you, what may be something that could assist you differently. I won't say better because I don't get into better or worse. So yeah, I'm just going to take a breath there. So how's that sitting? Let me just see some of the comments. I'm having massive trauma and stress today. Really needed this. Thank you. So stay on. We're going to click over in a moment, and we'll get into that energy. It's not. Look, if you go on my Instagram way back, every year around Christmas time, I do the 24, 25 day. Nicole's nodding. You used to it, aren't you? I do the 24, 25 days. I might have done 29 days of Christmas this year. And every day was an energy medicine technique, right? But you have to scroll way back because it obviously was, and I do lives all the time and stuff. So, but we can go over some of them here. And I'm feeling, so let me know what you feel about this, that this month, or at least some of it, maybe just this week, we'll see. Are you wanting to go into more specific energetics of stress and trauma? Would that serve you? Or do you have something else that you might want to look at? Because I'm sort of feeling my way. Last month, I was very specific on I needed to share this, that whole month of the energy that we're in. So Jennifer's saying yes, Jennifer Jean. But let me just see these. Oh, fear of rejection is what's coming up the strongest for me these days. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, well, we can touch into that. I did say that I know that you have to go, so we won't do it today because you're not going to be here. See, I hear you. I hear you. So through the week in our mastermind, we can go into that sequence where we can bring up some of that and see where it is in your body and track it and just see what, you know, a little bit touch into it because, you know, you got to get used to us as well and how comfortable you are with me and the work, the more, yeah, well, this is the thing. You know, I'm going to say this because some of you are practitioners and whatnot. I've researched this to the hilt. I would look at what people were doing in the field, you know, in all of these different disciplines and looking at what worked and what didn't work. And the key to what works is the relationship with the other person. And I joke about this, but I'm telling you, it is a truth that if you're in that connection with somebody, you can just read the alphabet or the phone book and there will be some healing. It's the relationship. Like, right? Feel that. So the relationship you have with yourself. Oh, what? Did you catch that? How you relate, how you are with yourself. And then, so yourself, your physical, energetic body, and then the self, the higher aspects of yourself. And when we can build that and not be afraid, meaning push or pull, like grasping or pushing away. So fear of love, you know, holding on or get away. Then we have that space to receive. So if we have a fear of rejection or a fear of abandonment or a fear of looking or sounding stupid or a not knowing or a not understanding or whatever yours is, put it, you know, pop it in there, right? We have multiple fears. Ultimately, it's a fear of survival or fear of not surviving. Same thing, really. It's fear of survival. So that's why in the mystical paths, it's all about dying daily. How do you die daily? And you could look at that as sleep, when you go to sleep, when you put your head down. I wrote a blog years ago because I love to, you know, just mix words up and get people thinking around trust. And I was saying that, you know, if you go to bed trusting that your partner or your family or even yourself is going to be a certain way when you wake up, then, you know, I was saying that humans are lazy. We don't want to find out who that person is or even who we are again the next day. So we have these patterns that form neurologically and energetically. to bypass. We don't have to do all that work. I'm saying, do the work. I'm saying, don't be lazy. I mean, that sounds like a bit of a judgment, but you get what I'm saying. Do you or not? That what if every day that you woke up, you were curious about who that person is again? I don't know. It's just my world meditation, you know? Who's this person today? How were they at work today? How were you today? Some of you I've known for years. Some of you on Facebook and Instagram I've known for a long time. Some of you I knew before you had your children even, yeah? Your children have grown up with me. They come on classes. You know, they're the next mystics, right? But who are you today? How are you today? I'm not going to assume that you're who I think you are. Going back to my crayons, I got to do my crayon teaching. Oh, maybe I'll do it properly tomorrow. But my crayon teaching is because one of my friends is have a lot of science friends and physicists and all that because of how I experience energy and the world, and we cross-reference a lot of stuff. But, you know, it's like, what color are you today? So if I see you, MA, and maybe you're this, you know, sort of a red magenta. Yesterday you may have been this orangey color, you know, or green. Well, my friend would say to me every time he spoke to me, I was a new color. I was a different vibration. And sometimes he didn't like that color. I have a lot of colors, as do you. I am every vibration. I'm every color, as are you. Right? So I'm going to go into that. I'll do that little teaching tomorrow because I went off on a little tangent today. But just know that you're the whole rainbow, but some of your colors are being covered up. Some of your colors are lost. Some of your colors have melted into the carpet. You put them too close to the radiator. Some of them broke. Some of them you don't like, so you never use. Some of them just give you the, don't like that. And some you do like a beautiful turquoise or purple or blue, right? If you don't like blue, you're going to get real sick of me. Right. Does that make sense? So what you're going into, actually, I will do this. No, I won't. I'll keep it for tomorrow. Make you come back. I have something I prepared for you. But I never get to my prepared things because I just feel what's going on. All right. So contemplating when you reach for pain relief, discomfort relief, relief, when you reach for relief, whether that's just internally or being conscious of, am I afraid? Am I missing what I'm being shown? So my eyes hurt. Of course they do. I sit on social media or Zoom teaching. That's my life, right? And maybe you didn't get enough sleep this morning. I got up at 5. I was excited, right? So creating some comfort, let's say, so that I could turn up in my greatness for you now. If I didn't have to, I may have done something different. But we're going to go over into the mastermind now because we're 40 minutes in. We usually do around 30, 40 minutes on social media, and then we go into the mastermind where we're going to look at your energetics around what I'm talking about and seeing what would benefit you in relation to this yang aspect of the energetic nervous system. And as we go through this week, we can go deeper into that if that serves you. So, you know, I'm open to suggestions. So those of you that aren't in the mastermind, you can come on for 2 days free. You still have to sign up, but you don't get charged anything for 2 days, and then you can just opt out, or you can stay and you know, get $30 mentoring for the month, which is a bargain if you ask me. But it's up to you. You know, to get your questions and energy, and also your, you know, regulation tips and techniques. Now, it won't be as deep as we do in Relevate, because that's our Regulate to Elevate is our core program at the moment. But you can, if you're interested in coming on board with that, send me a message. That's where we go deeper, and it's more of a class. It's classes, so that you are doing your own deep dive into what's going on for you. It's small groups, like very small groups, because I'm watching. I see you on Zoom and I'm monitoring you all, right? If you need, if you're still very much in your trauma, contact for a one-to-one just to see whether, you know, you're ready for group work. Because, you know, if a lot's coming up, then it might be better to just get some things under your belt or in your toolbox before you go into a group. Okay, so on that note, I shall see you all tomorrow. We're on at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Hawaiian Standard Time. I'm not sure what that is for you. And those of you that are on the mastermind, come over to the Zoom link and we shall get started. Okay. Much love. May the blessings be. And I'll see you tomorrow. Righty. So let's just get